And today we're looking at the, yep, that's right, the Sega Nomad. And the Sega Nomad was Sega's answer to the Turbo Express that came from TurboGrafx. Sega had this habit of kind of looking behind them instead of in front of them, where Nintendo was. For a little while, of course, Sega dominated the market, but that wasn't going to last forever. They had this tendency of looking at who was behind them, who was coming up behind them. They released, for example, the 32X was in response to Atari's Jaguar, and a lot of those games, oddly enough, look very similar to some of the games that were coming out on the Atari Jaguar. The whole Sega CD thing happened because TurboGrafx had their CD player, their CD device attachment for their home console. So, you know, Sega had this habit of copying things that the people behind them were making, rather than focusing on what the people in front of them were doing. But anyway, this, of course, plays Sega Genesis games on it, and here I have Road Rash, which is, you know, your typical Electronic Arts game at the time with the little yellow thing to make it look like it's bigger with more memory. And of course we got Virtua Racing here with all this sticker crap all over it. But it's still Virtua Racing. We're going to go ahead and pop that in, and we're going to turn this on. And of course, produced by or under license from Sega. Dim the lights here a little bit. And that's what that looks like right there. You see the... now this looks a little screwy here with this camera. You're not going to be able to see it so well. So, when you're playing it yourself, it actually plays quite well. And it looks quite good. But now, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and use one of the features of this device that comes with it here. We're going to go ahead now, and we're going to turn this off. We're going to look up here. Oh, look! It's a line out to a television. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug a Sega adapter right in there. And then we're going to come up here to the TV, and we're going to turn this off. And this is a CRT TV, which is the only way to do these old games. Oh, and look at that! Look what it does here. It actually comes out. Now, when it comes out, of course, it comes out on both screens. Same thing on both screens. It's just all of your sound comes out on here. And, of course, there's that interlaced look. It's the flippy screen thing going on there, because it is a interlaced picture that you're getting here. The Sega Nomad had other cool features as well. Other than basically being a portable Sega Genesis, it was a portable Sega Genesis. It had a second controller here, volume control, headphones there, full 6-button display, full-size cartridges that it played. We're going to take a look at some of the gameplay here, and we're going to do it on this big screen right here. Okay, and that is the delicious screen of Virtua Racing. We're going to go ahead and start this sucker. Alright. I love this game, by the way. This game is awesome. I still play this often, even today. And here we go. And we're controlling this from right here. Same thing happening on the little screen. Not that far. Now, as you can see, the Sega Nomad is really, truly a portable Sega Genesis. You can take this anywhere. You can play it lying on your back in bed. You can play it, well, if you want to play it in the car, you got to get the battery charger. I do not think that it runs on regular batteries. If you see or notice on the back of the thing, there really is no place to put batteries. There's this apparatus here that looks like a charger. It's probably some manner of charger that attaches to this mess. I really don't think there's any place to put batteries anywhere here. Yeah, and this device, of course, was probably a little too little, a little too late. This came out towards the tail end of the Sega Genesis life cycle. It would have been a lot better for Sega if they would have had this at the beginning instead of the Sega Game Gear, you know, maybe in lieu of the Game Gear or in addition to the Game. In addition to the Game Gear would have been too confusing. And they would have been better off just making this their handheld device, really, because really this isn't that much bigger than a Game Gear. It's a little bit larger, but overall it's not that much bigger. It's got good colors. As you can see, it's the same thing. It's a Sega Genesis in a handheld device, and it's quite good. And I'm very happy to be an owner of one of these rare systems. Again, if you're a collector and you're looking into systems, this is one of the ones that you really should have. They made about 1 million of these, so they're not impossible to get. They're going to get harder and harder. Obviously, with anything like this, the more, you know, as time marches on, the more and more of these are just going to fail, you know, because they're just going to be too damn old to work anymore. But I'm a proud owner, and if you're a serious gamer, it's worth checking out. It'll play your entire library of Sega Genesis games, and it's quite a pickup. It's the Sega Nomad, portable Sega Genesis in your hands.